Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome. So, guess what? I'm super excited to tell you that now we are in a new show. This is She Shift, formerly known as Envision Me Show. You want to know why I did it? I feel it's time. It's time for a shift. We, especially those of us that are over the age of 45 and looking for some support, empowerment, encouragement, knowing that there's other women in the boat. I was going to say in the bus, in the boat with them, and knowing that they're not alone. So I want to welcome you all. I love to hear your chats, your thumbs ups, hearts, as well as how we do it, having some fun here. So today, you guys, I have two amazing women on here. Their names are Colleen and Bridget, and they are the host of Hot Topics Cool Flash. Let me see, make sure. Yeah, Hot Flashes Cool Topics. I don't know, I keep messing it up. I was practicing it all the way back home. But you guys, they are amazing women. And today we're going to talk about friendship. And I think it's so important. But before I bring them on, you know how we do it. Even though we're on a new show, we still have three things I want you to do. One, it's Win Wednesday. Drop your win in the feed. Let me know what your win is. Now, let me go give you real quick housekeeping. If you do not have StreamYard or you're not part of StreamYard, you'll have to give me access. That way we can see your message, your kudos, your fingers, your thumbs up, and everything else instantly. If not, I won't be able to see them until after the show. So I love to give recognition. Love to give the shout out. So just remember, if you want us to see them now, please give us access so StreamYard so I can see your message instantly and we can give you a shout out. So with that being said, first of all, it's Win Wednesday. What is your win for this week? Now, I'm always getting, what is a win? A win is a goal that you've set and you've already accomplished it, or you have set the goal, but you're working on it. Or better yet, you're thinking about it, but you just don't know where to start at. If that's you, drop it in the feed. Let us know what your win is so we can give you a shout out. Then number two, go get your pen, your paper, your girlfriends, your family, everybody, because there's going to be nuggets dropped here. Like I said, we're going to talk about the value of friendship. And then lastly, y'all know I'm on my journey of being a healthy living journey. And I want to know, what is your go-to evening snack? What are you snacking on right now? So drop it in the feed, let us know, and we'll be definitely going to see what you have. So without further ado, let me bring Colleen to the stage and Bridget to the stage. Hey, ladies.
Hi.
Hello there.
How are you doing this evening?
We're great. I've been looking forward to this. How about you, Bridget?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, really excited. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, no, thank you. So a short, brief, I'll give you a minute. Tell everybody who you are and how did you even get to here?
Oh, okay. So I'll start. So I'm Colleen and my co host Bridget. We've been friends for about 8 or 9 years now, and we live in a neighborhood that's very large and very built around community. And so we were having lunch one day, as 50 plus women do, and we were talking about all those things that midlife, menopause, aches, pains, relationships, kids, and we were looking for podcasts that address that. And this is going back to the very end of 2019, right before the pandemic. And there really weren't any. So we thinking, okay, Bridget's a former teacher. I'm a former attorney. How hard could it be to start a podcast? And as you know, Pamela, it's very hard. So with very little experience in that area, we learned, we grew, we started really hitting a nerve for women 50 plus about everything. In the beginning, it was a lot of menopause because the conversation really wasn't there that it is now. And the podcast has grown as we have grown. So now we're both postmenopausal. We're talking about things that we are looking forward to. We're both 57. We talk to a lot of women late 50s, early 60s about the excitement of this time of life that nobody talks about. And did I miss anything, Bridget?
I think you're doing great. It's interesting that you're she shift and Colleen and we're still going to talk about menopause, but
Mhm.
we are shifting at postmenopause. So it really is interesting. I think we're both kind of in the same boat here that we like to see what's happening next and what to look forward to.
Yeah, I think I'm with you ladies. You're right. As soon as we hit a certain age, the shift to me was real. I think it was really eye-opening. I'm thinking, I heard all my other women friends that went before me and that was hitting that 55 and older or 45 and older, and they're like, "Oh my God, I struggle with it." And I'm like, it's gonna be okay. Okay, the devil's a lie. It's not okay. That's not. I mean, being truthful, it isn't. And you're right. But I feel like society doesn't talk about this milestone. And I think that uh, though we hear the rewards and we hear the celebrations, I don't think we hear the celebrations loud enough. And so that's one thing I definitely want She Shifted to create that louder voice to knowing that you don't have to be in the boat by yourself, right? When you
Right.
hit that milestone, let's go out, let's celebrate, and let's understand the change that we're going to change, or we're going to shift, but the shift is in a good way. And you don't have to do it by yourself. I mean, that's also my thing too. I want to, let's shift together. I'm
Yeah.
like, let's do this as a togetherness thing. So thank you, ladies, for that amazing. Thank you again for joining me. So tonight, I want us to talk about the value in friendship. Here, you ladies have been doing this for 8 or 9 years, which is remarkable. So, first of all, have you guys ever had that hit that bump in the road where you're like, I'm not sure about this?
I don't think we
No,
have. No, I mean, there's times are harder than other times. I think when we started, we actually, because it was right before lockdown when we started, and so people were really eager to connect, even if it was just like we're connecting over, Zoom or over StreamYard and talking. So we were fortunate that we got a lot of interviews and a lot of people to talk to, and the conversations just kept going. So there's challenges as in technology. Like I had trouble getting on, I'm still challenged in that area. But we it's funny, thank goodness for YouTube and videos and things that can help us out. And it is amazing what we are capable of doing even at this age. It
I,
really is something.
I think it, do you feel that friendships is more valuable now than it was when we were in our 20s,
Oh,
in our teens and our 20s? Do you feel it's more valuable than now? And if so, how so?
I think it is more valuable. I think it keeps us healthier. Number one, I think friendships are a very important part of you were talking about a health journey. It's 360, and it's not just what you put inside your body, but it's who you spend time with. Positive friendships are definitely a component of a healthy lifestyle. I also think that as we get older, we don't need as many friends.
True.
It's much more important to have good friends that give you positive energy, because we've talked to experts like Dan Buettner from Blue
Mhm.
Zones, and negative influences, it's contagious. If a
True.
friend is in a negative space, ultimately it will lead you to go down that road too. So it's really important. Yeah, you want to be around, and Bridget always says, you want to be around people who make you laugh. You want to be around people who bring you joy. You don't constantly want to be giving and giving in a friendship and not receiving. So I think they're invaluable as we get older.
I agree with you there. I totally have started to value more my friendships. I think I'm now starting to do, and may this sound crazy or funny, doing even like a interview process of my friends in my head, as in how much value, first of all, do they bring value to me? Because as I feel friendships, we do it two ways. But then when I did that interview or that process, I noticed some didn't fit that, and so then that meant that the friendship. What am I to do at that time? Have either of you come to that point where you're like questioning some of your friends, other friends outside of you, where you're like, they're not there. I don't think. they should be part of our group? And if so, how did you feel about, like, especially those that have been in your life for 5 or 10 years or more? How did you feel about letting that relationship go?
That's interesting because we did a episode about a month ago about breaking up with a friend. And that was, that is a tough thing to do. And,
Mhm.
you do have to think about how you do that. I mean, I was like, Colleen really did some research, not ghosting, maybe just having a really truthful conversation. And you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You really don't. Like, that's one of the worst things that you can feel. I know, Colleen, you said that recently, is
Right.
that is one of the worst things. I hate hurting someone's feelings. But
Right.
And using the I term was a
Yes.
lot when we were talking about the research, right, Bridget?
Right. Saying, don't put it on them. Put it,
Mm.
take it from you own what is happening. So you have to own that. And it's happened to both of us. We both have been in situations where we've had to let a friendship go. And you do have to think about, I love how you said, Pamela, how you do this little interview in your head. That is genius. I think, I mean, really, that is genius. When you said that, you probably saw my eyes light up like, oh my gosh, what a great idea. But you do have to think about, we're at this age now that we do have to prioritize our time. And we do have to see what we're bringing to the relationship, or what they're bringing to the relationship, and what's going to happen. So that is really good too, Colleen, that you said an I statement.
Right. Because if
Mhm.
not, people aren't going to listen to what you have to say.
I
If you
agree.
start with, I feel that this relationship has run its course, and talk about the good times that you have, but I just feel, and then you have to be willing to listen to that person. It's a two-way street. So you have to be willing to listen to what they have to say. And it might make you feel bad. You can't do it over text. Please don't break up with a friend over text. That's just,
That's
it's just,
tacky.
yeah,
Tacky.
it's just
What it is,
wrong.
it's tacky.
It's just wrong. But, also when we were talking about it on the podcast, you want to be in a public area, because you don't know how someone is going to respond, and you don't know if they're going to get upset or not. And sometimes they're in a friend group with you, so you're still going to see that person. So what kind of boundaries are you going to set? But, someone told me long ago that people come into your life for a reason, a
True.
season, or a lifetime. And it's okay if that reason didn't lead to a lifetime. You can have wonderful memories and just feel like the friendship has run its course. So really taking ownership and listening, I in the research says that makes the separation a little more palatable.
And I like when you both talk about taking ownership. Okay, sometimes that's a little hard, and that's a hard pill to swallow. But if we have a listener right now, like, okay, they've hit me right here, and they're talking to me, but I don't even know what to do. I don't even know where to start at. What would be a piece of advice that you would give to them?
Wow. I love the interview. That I think, before you start, to make a list. I mean, I always do the pros and cons list. What's been good, what has not been good with this, and then have that conversation. Say, hey, I'd really like to meet you and talk about something. If it's over the phone or if it's in a public place. But, you don't wanna bring them to tears in a public place. That's always
No.
hard too. Yeah, that's always difficult. But, I think we're all adults now, and that's something that we should be able to do, is have that conversation, and remember, when you make your pros and cons list, to make it what's going on with you. Don't put blame on them.
So as you ladies, as we shift, and I agree with you, I think that we need to talk more about breaking up with friends, and then and it's okay to break up. I think, though, for me, as we break the friendship up, it would be hard for me to see that person in that friend group, right? And because then, to me, I feel the hotness boom. Me, like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So if that's the case, what would you say? Okay, now I done broke up with this person. with the right reasons. I felt that we ended it on the best note that we should have, but I see them. How do you even still make it not such an uncomfortable situation, or even situation?
Mhm.
Well, I think communication is key. When you are having the conversation with that person, explain, the reality is we have mutual friends. It's like a divorce. Who gets the couple, who gets the couple's friends?
True.
We're going to see each other. So let's just set a boundary here that we're civil and that there's no ill will, because your friends are going to hear your opinion and her opinion, and it's somewhere in between is going to be the truth. So for me, if you can't break up completely because it's just not realistic, then setting healthy boundaries. This person calls you 3 times a day. Okay, you don't answer the phone anymore. They text you constantly. Well, maybe you don't reply as much. You start setting healthy boundaries for yourself. Usually people will get the hint from that.
I agree. The healthy boundaries, I just learned that. And I know, I'm serious. You may laugh.
No,
I
Mhm.
just learned what a healthy boundary is. You
Mhm.
know,
They didn't use words like that when we were younger.
Oh, no.
No.
we
Mm-mm.
couldn't even, I didn't even like, and even to the point of, look, I'm gonna say this. This is a common phrase that I say in my house. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing, and I'm projecting that message that I want them to hear. But guess what? They don't get it. And so I stick to what I'm saying in my mind that I want them. And for a while, it seems that they are conveying to the message that, okay, maybe she just needs her space. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to say anything more. They've gotten it. And then 3 days later, guess what? We're back to the beginning again.
Yeah.
But we just did an episode on people pleasing.
Mm.
And part of that is when you're in a relationship that takes from you and does not give back, when you
Yes.
start setting those healthy boundaries, they're not going to like it because they're not used to it. So it's really important for you to continue setting that healthy boundary. Their response, you have no control over.
True.
They're going to respond how they're going to respond.
That is so true.
But only you can decide where that healthy, and like you said, nobody talks, like we were never in middle school going, what's your healthy boundary? And I mean, nobody said that. Man.
Yeah, we didn't
And
know what that was. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you kind of feel like as you get older, your energy is valuable and
Yes.
you don't want to just give it away. And I think that comes with age and wisdom. And so when somebody's taking advantage, and we just don't have time for that anymore. And so if you are in healthy friendships, they're probably already knowing that this person is doing something because they're probably doing it to them too.
Probably so. I agree with you. But you're right. The word boundary, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say it again. I just learned that word, y'all. I just learned what it really means to create boundaries, and just really learn how to implement it the right way, and being that adult as I'm supposed to be, is one thing that I really have learned that. So yeah, I'm super excited about this conversation. But ladies, before we go any further, if someone wanted to go find you podcast and find where you are, how can they do that?
They can go to our website, hotflashescooltopics.com, and they can also join our newsletter. A little pop-up will be there. And if you want the newsletter, we're not going to, inundate you with lots. It'll be once a week. And there's a little pop-up. You can put your email in there. You'll get your newsletter. We're also on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We have a great private Facebook group where a lot of women come in with just questions. A lot of them have to do with menopause, but they could be with other situations that you face in midlife. And we also have a YouTube channel, yes, where we put all of our podcasts on there.
And the podcast is free wherever they find podcasts. So wherever they're listening, they can find it.
I love it. You guys You guys got to follow them. I follow them. I was telling them, I told everybody they need to follow. I think think you guys are doing something amazing and great. And I think that we need to build the community and support each other. So I so commend you on that. But let's go back to friendship, right? I'm still I'm in awe about the 8 or 9 years. So do you guys celebrate each other's birthdays, and do you do all that too?
Oh,
Both of you guys like, yeah.
Her birthday's coming up. Yeah,
I
in a
know.
few
Mine's, I'll
weeks.
be 58 next month.
Yes.
We started as friends 8 or 9 years ago, and then the podcast started in 2019. So by the time we started the podcast, we had a pretty good foundation. Wouldn't you agree, Bridget?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so Bridget and I we may be the same, around the same age. I'm a little older, but we come from such different experiences and backgrounds that it complements the conversations because we come with different perspectives. And I think that our listeners appreciate the fact that it's not like we don't agree on every single thing, and it's okay to not agree on every single thing.
I agree.
And
the friendship, though, I think that's what makes it.
Oh yeah. It's just interesting. It makes it interesting, and it's just neat to find a different perspective. It really is. Exactly.
And we love talking to people who are so different from us. Every week, we have a new episode every Wednesday, and you never know what you're going to get from us. It might be, like I said, people pleasing might be one week, and then we had Elizabeth Perkins, the actress, on another week, and then we might have a doctor on, and then we might have an author. So we feel like we're not one-dimensional at this age. Why would our podcast be one-dimensional?
I agree with you, and I think that is so amazing that you guys are just out here doing all things and covering it all, and I love that. So at this point of the show, look, our time was it's come so fast. Oh my goodness. I could talk all day. So
so can Bridget. Bridget loves storytelling.
I go off on tangents. And it doesn't bother me. And Colleen's like, well, that was a tangent. It's not mean-spirited. I get it. Sometimes you need that friend. I think you brought that up. You need that friend that kind of pulls you back in. If you're people pleasing too much, or if you're doing something, or if they even see a friendship that is unhealthy for you, that maybe, and it's not out of jealousy, it is out of concern that, hey, maybe that person didn't treat you so well. And just, that's a good friend to have.
Oh my goodness. I value friends like that. I'd rather have few than more.
Right.
Like that,
Right.
So at this point in the show, ladies, I always do a little shift. And the shift is, I believe to shift your thinking, I believe in expanding our minds. One way to do that is reading. I love read. This is I'm not giving any accolades or any kudos, but I have over 90 books, Audible books. And so I listen to my books. With that being said, ladies, do you have a book that you would like to suggest to everybody? And what is it?
Well, I just finished Leanne Morgan's book. Leanne Morgan, the comedian that talk What in the World. I believe her book is titled What in the World. It was a really fast read. And we have tons of authors on, and I love their books. I mean,
we read a lot.
We read a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yes, we read. I mean, there's so many great ones out there.
Right. We just spoke with Dr. Ali Cohen about detoxifying. So her book is called Detoxify, and it's how to get rid of live a toxin-free life, but with reality. She doesn't try to say go live in a bubble, because it's not going to work. I'm going to recommend The Bombshell, which just came out. Perhaps it's because my niece wrote it. Proud of her.
Absolutely.
But I also, I'm right now reading We Can Do Hard Things, which is a great book as well. So there's so many books out there.
There are. There's great helpful ones that we've read that are really, what was Dr. Ian Smith's Eat Your Age? Eat Your Age. Great. It's great. I love the way he wrote it, and I love the way that he puts tips in every chapter.
Uh-huh.
And he was wonderful. We had him on as a guest, and he was
He's
wonderful.
awesome. And also you can like scan in his book, you can scan. There's a QR code where if he
Oh,
explains an exercise, you
yes.
scan the QR code and there's a video of him actually doing the
Doing that. Oh no,
exercise.
see, I like that. I'm that person that needs that little bit of hand holding. So
Mhm.
that I'm gonna have to look. I already put my
Dr. Ian K. Smith.
I
Yeah,
got
and he's pretty easy on the eyes. So
when he
bonus.
said I'm 55, Bridget and I were like, no, you're not.
We were
Don't
like,
lie.
really.
Don't lie. You are not.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I would also recommend we interviewed her, gosh, maybe season 1 or season 2. The book's called The Upgrade
The Upgrade.
by
Yeah,
by
Dr.
Dr. Brizendine.
Yes,
Brizendine.
Luann Brizendine. Yeah, I think I have it somewhere on my shelf right here. Yeah,
It's a really great book for women. She calls it The Upgrade because instead of calling it menopause, she believes it's an upgrade in your life. And it's such a great book.
Oh, I have my books written down. I hope you guys have written them down. Those were great. Thank you, ladies. With that being said, you ladies are amazing, doing amazing work, and you're busy. So what do you do for self-care for yourself? Colleen, what do you do for yourself?
Oh goodness, I'm going for it. I love to float in my pool at 4:00 every day.
on a pizza float. It's
on
a
my
pizza float shaped like a pizza.
So that's my summertime at 4:00 when the shade is in the backyard. You will find me floating in my pool. And for downtime, I really like doing little short vacations, which I've gotten Bridget to now start doing too. But just like a Thursday to a Monday, go somewhere where it's not far, just experience something new. Bridget and I have both been married to our spouses for 100 years. So we like to go, just explore new things. And there's so many privileges that come with this stage of life.
Yes.
That whether it's going somewhere or simply sitting and reading a book, like you were saying, it's something, be in that moment, like enjoy it. What about you, Bridget?
Well, Colleen knows that I love tennis and pickleball. And so I do like my tennis and pickleball. It's really the neighborhood we live in have courts, and a group of women have just gotten together on a group text, and they just say, hey, I've got a court reservation. Is there anybody available? And even if there's more than 4, then we're like, okay, we'll rotate, we'll take turns. And it's really great. And they little Pilates class. My husband retired 2 years ago, so sometimes he goes with me. He might be the only guy in the class, and he doesn't care. And so we like that. I love being with my family. I'm from a family of 12 children, so it's a lot. I'm going to see them this weekend. So, spending time with my family, travel, all that good stuff. Playing mahjong with Colleen tomorrow.
Yes, that's true. We play mahjong. We love that.
Oh, neat. That is awesome, ladies. Well, real quick, I want to go back to the short vacation. That really sparked my interest. Where's some place that you guys, most interesting place you both been to on your short vacation?
You just went on one.
I just got back from Charleston. I had never been to Charleston, South Carolina. And I just got back Monday. So it was our 34th anniversary. And we just did a fun weekend. But Colleen, you've gone to some really cool places.
I have, I like to go up to like Vermont, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Massachusetts, and there's great historical resorts there, and I'm thinking Mohonk is one of them.
Okay,
which is like it's like 120 years old. They don't have telephones in the rooms. You kind of feel a little bit like you're at Little House on the Prairie, but it's gorgeous acreage, and you can hike and you can kayak, and so these resorts that aren't like on everyone's radar, but I like to go off season so that I don't have to deal with the masses of people.
Yes.
And I just think there's so much out there that we don't know. So go explore, just.
I already circled it on my list. I'm going to find me a little short vacation to go. And I'm going to have to report on that because that sounds
fun. Yeah.
Those let us know. We should keep
a running list. That would be great.
Well, ladies, as we're getting ready to come to the end of the show, this has been so much fun, especially my first show as She Shift. With that being said, today is Win Wednesday, as you heard me say at the beginning. I love celebrating a win for the week. What's your win for this week? Bridget, what's yours?
Oh, well, I actually changed my air filters in my house today.
Yes.
And I have been looking at them forever with the dust, and I'm like, I am gonna do that. And I mean, I really felt like I accomplished something, so I did it.
Yay!
Breathing easier.
Way
I
Yeah.
to
know that's
go.
probably
Um,
me too.
I'm about a quarter of the way through cleaning out my closet. And I just take stuff straight to Goodwill. I
Yes.
don't even keep it in the house because I'll sit there and go, maybe I'll
Mhm.
wear that. And I highly suggest don't try to do it all at once because
Yeah.
you'll lose your mind. So I'm about a quarter. So I went to Goodwill today and I got rid of a lot of stuff. So I feel like it was very cathartic.
That's why you had those purses on the,
Yes.
neighborhood buy sell trade page. I
Yes,
saw
I
'em.
did.
I love it. I love it, ladies. I have so much fun. And so I would say my win for this week is actually when I shifted the name. I don't know how you ladies felt doing the podcast. It took me a long time to come to nail onto this name. I didn't had so many different names, but to feel this one feels good. This one feels right. I even had normally I don't ask for anyone else's opinion. I normally just do it. I'm like, nope, let me go out here and see what everyone else says. And everyone's like, oh, I like it. I'm like, okay, that's it then. This is what it's going to be. And we're going to go from here. So not procrastinating and not letting that inner self critic saying the doubt coming in and saying, no, it doesn't make sense, or the fear of, oh, no one will get it. So that's huge for me because I'm normally the one that'll be like, okay, I will just push it to the side and we'll leave the one that doesn't feel good. It's not feeling in my gut. We'll just keep going and going. But so that's mine. I have to say that was a huge accomplishment for
Well,
me.
congratulations.
Yeah,
We're
and
thrilled.
I like it because Colleen knows I love alliteration. And
It's
but
true.
I totally got it. I was like, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, she
She
shift.
shift.
It's a time. It is a
It's
time."
time. It's time
Mhm.
to shift. And then as we are shifting to the last one, so what's next for Hot Flashes, Cool Topics, and Colleen and Bridget? So what is your guys' what's next?
Well, it's interesting because when we started the podcast, everyone's like, what's your plan? And we were like, we don't really have a set plan. We want to put the seatbelt on and see where it goes. And we didn't know how quickly the trajectory would be of how popular it became. So we've been doing in-person events and we're starting to partner with some new companies to do that. We're also working on a book. So that's exciting. And we just kind of, when opportunities come around, we're like, we'll try it. We may like it, we may not. But, that fear of failure kind of goes away after
Mhm.
50. So Bridget and I are always like, okay, let's give it a shot and see how we do.
Right. Yeah, it's not a failure. It's just like if it didn't work, it didn't work, and you just move
I
on.
agree.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's my total mindset now. I'm going to still figure it out, but I'm going to keep moving forward no matter what happens. So that's the mindset I have here. And ladies, how would you like to leave our guests with?
Leave.
What
Leave
would you
them
like
with
what would you like to leave the guests with? Uh,
just move it like I would say, don't be scared of these years coming up. I mean, I
Oh,
think that
yeah.
this could be
uh,
I find one thing that surprises me is that no one ever told me that this time of life could be this much fun.
True. I
I
agree.
never thought that. No one ever that's
Mm,
not anything you ever read about, how great you're entering your 60s is gonna be, and I'm like, this is a fun time. This is a great time."
I
So,
couldn't agree more,
yeah.
definitely. And you gotta get out of your comfort zone. And to try new things doesn't mean you have to start a podcast or create a show or something. It could be taking a pottery class that you always wanted to take, or committing to walking 15
mhm.
minutes a day. But it's taking that tiny step out of your comfort zone and realizing that there's still so much out there to experience. Life is not over. It's never too late. And Bridget and I, the hope of the podcast is really to empower women to feel like this time of life, like Bridget said, can be a really great time of life.
I love it, ladies. Well, I want to thank you again. This was fun. Time
This
went by
was
so fast.
fun. This was fun. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you ladies in the green room, and I'll be right back with you. So hold on a second.
Okay, great.
Oh my goodness, you guys. What did you think of our first show here on She Shift? I love it. I'm hoping you got something out of this. If you find this was helpful, or if you would like, I would love for you to share this. As I always say, sharing is caring. So go out here and share today's show. If you have any questions, or if you're needing more help with getting to shift to your what's next, text me at 614-674-0074. And you don't even have to get it to me. You can even say you want to talk to Bridget, Colleen, and both of them, and I definitely will get you to the right person. Well, you guys, I hope you had fun. I did on my very first show, She Shift. And as we begin to shifting to our what's next, join me in next week when I have another amazing guest as I did today. Thank you, you guys, and you rock.